So outdoor security cameras are usually a trade-off, aren't they? You either go wide angle and accept you won't get loads of detail at distance, or you go PTZ and accept that the second the camera turns to follow something, you've technically left the rest of the scene unattended. And if you have got a bigger driveway, maybe a wide front garden, a long side path, or a backyard with multiple entry points, those kind of compromises get old quite quickly, and most of the time you actually end up getting more than one camera. Well, that's basically the whole point of this one right here. This is the brand new Reolink OMVI 3i, and the promise is pretty simple: one camera, full coverage. It's a triple lens setup where the top section gives you a fixed 180-degree panoramic view, and then the lower lens is a 4K pan and tilt camera that can lock onto movement and track it. This is all great because you're not choosing between wide view or close tracking. You're actually getting both at the same time. Now, I've been running this as a proper outdoor camera, and I'll just take you through what it's like in real world use, what I genuinely like about it, where I think it might be a bit of an overkill, and the bits you want to know before you commit to purchasing. But I guess the best place to start is by unboxing it. Now, unboxing is fairly typical Reolink, to be honest. It's not one of those kits with endless accessories because the camera itself is the main event here. You've got the unit, mounting hardware, the usual template and fittings, and your basic setup paperwork. If you have used Reolink cameras before, you'll recognize the approach. It's very much designed to be mounted properly and left to do its thing. Now, first impressions are that this is a pretty serious bit of kit. It is not a little battery camera you tuck away and forget about. It's clearly built to live outside and cover bigger spaces, and it's not exactly discreet either. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It is the sort of camera you're supposed to see, which for some people is a plus because it acts as a bit of a deterrent. Now, the reason it looks the way it does is basically it is doing two jobs at once. The top section is a fixed 180-degree panoramic dual lens that simply stays put and keeps the full scene in a view at all times. Then underneath that, you've got a 4K 8-megapixel pan and tilt lens that moves to zoom in and follow activity for detail. So instead of a normal PTZ where the camera turns and you lose the rest of the area, here you keep that wide overview running constantly while the lower lens does the investigation work for you. It's certainly very unique. Now let's jump into setup because it is pretty standard if you've used Reolink products before. You mount it, which simply requires you to screw the mounting bracket to the wall. To be honest, this part is not hard at all, most people will be able to do this. Next, it is just a matter of powering it on and adding it in a dedicated Reolink app. The process is pretty simple, just simply input all your corresponding information and it should take over the process for you. Once you're in, it is mainly about configuring and how you want detection and tracking to behave, which I will talk a bit more about later. Now, there are two versions of this camera set to come out, both Wi-Fi and PoE. And in my opinion, if you're covering a big outdoor space, PoE is always the best case option if you can run a cable. One cable, stable connection, reliable power, less drama long term. But also, I get why people go Wi-Fi. Sometimes you simply can't run Ethernet where you need to. If you do go Wi-Fi, the biggest thing I'd say is test the signal at the mounting spot, not indoors next to the router. This type of camera is designed to cover large areas, and large areas often mean you're mounting it far away, which to be honest is exactly where Wi-Fi can get flaky. So it really depends on the individual and which one will work for you. Now, when it comes to the app overall, the camera very much lives or dies by it, because if the dual view is clunky, the whole point collapses. The good news is the dual view is genuinely useful, and it is its main selling point. You can see the full 180-degree panoramic feed, and at the same time you can see the lower PT feed doing its thing. When it's tracking someone, you're not sat there wondering what's happening in the rest of the scene. You can literally see it. The other feature that actually feels properly practical is Pinpoint with One Tap. In real life, it is not a gimmick like I thought it would be. You tap a part of the panoramic view, say someone's up the road, and the PT lens swings round and centers on that area for a closer look. From my experience reviewing cameras, this is massively quicker than manually steering a PTZ camera. It is just so much more fluid and quicker. So tracking is the headline feature, and this is where the OMVI FreeEye can feel like a genuine upgrade over simple setups. The panoramic camera acts as the spotter. It sees motion across the 180-degree view. Then the PT lens locks onto the subject and follows them, keeping them framed. When it works well, it's brilliant because you end up with two useful perspectives. The wide view shows the full context, and the close-up that shows what actually happened. Now, being honest, tracking is never magic. It obviously depends on distance, lighting, how fast the subject is moving, and how busy the scene is. If you've got a driveway facing a road with constant traffic, you'll want to spend time tuning detection zones and sensitivity so it's not constantly trying to follow the wrong thing. But in a typical home setup, someone walking up the path, a car pulling into a driveway, it's the kind of tracking that feels a little more grounded rather than just the camera widely spinning and losing the subject. As mentioned earlier, there is room for adjusting the sensitivity within the app and choosing what you want to track. So instead of false alerts from cars, you can focus purely on human movement, which for most people, that will be the main benefit. What is great is you can preset points and then create patrol routes. This is where it checks key areas automatically. So you can have it look at the gate, then the driveway, then the side passage. Personally, I wouldn't use patrol constantly because I prefer it reacting to real events, not just sweeping around all day. But if you've got a big yard or you want regular checks during the day, it could be a genuinely useful tool to have. So the big spec here is 18 megapixel, but the important thing is to understand how that plays out. The panoramic view is high resolution, but it's also covering a massive 180-degree scene. So it's not just about reading tiny details at the far end of its view, it's about seeing everything clearly enough that you know what happened and where. The PT lens is the detail camera. That's where you get closer framing. In daylight, the combination is strong. You get a proper overview that doesn't look mushy, and you get that second feed that can give you the actual usable evidence. Where you need to be realistic is at the edges of that panoramic view. Panoramic cameras can show a bit of distortion or softness towards the extreme sides. And to be fair, that is normal for ultra wide stitched images. It's not a deal breaker, but it is the sort of thing you'll notice if you go hunting for perfect sharpness everywhere. But as a whole, the both images from both the lenses are pretty darn good. Now, when it comes to night performance, you've actually got a few options here, and that's what makes it more flexible than a basic outdoor camera. You've got color night vision, you've got the spotlight, and you've got the more traditional black and white infrared. In my experience, color does a genuinely good job when there's any ambient light in the scene. So if you've got a street light, a porch light, even a bit of garden lighting, the footage stays surprisingly usable. You are getting a more natural looking image, and it's easier to pick out things like clothing and general detail without everything turning into that grey flat look. If it's darker than that, you can set the spotlight to kick in and actually illuminate the area. That is useful in two ways. It improves the picture, and it's also a deterrent because it makes it obvious someone's being watched. Now, I don't personally leave it blasting on full time, but as a motion triggered option, it can be handy. And then if you're in proper darkness, like no lighting at all, black and white night vision is still more than good enough for what security footage needs to be. You lose some of that nice looking colored detail, but you still get clear movement, usable shapes, and you can still tell what's going on. Now, one feature I've genuinely ended up using more than I expected is the AI search. Instead of scrubbing through a timeline and guessing what happened when, you can just type something in the search bar. For example, person walking dog, and it'll scan through your recorded clips and pull out all the moments that match. In my experience, it's not just a gimmick either. It actually saves time. Now the big draw with this camera, and honestly with Reolink in general, is that storage is local first. You're not immediately pushed into cloud plans just to make the camera feel useful, and I think that's one of the main reasons people end up choosing Reolink in the first place. You've got loads of storage options here: micro SD up to 512GB, MVR, Home Hub, NAS, FTP, and compatibility options like RTSP or ONVIF. That's certainly great if you are the type of person who wants to integrate this into a bigger setup. Now, all in all, I describe the OMVI 3i as one of those cameras that can make the most sense when you've got a property that's just slightly too big for a normal one camera setup. If you've got a wide driveway, a large front garden, or a backyard where you'd normally need 2 cameras to cover every single bit, this can genuinely reduce the number of cameras you need. And to be fair, the dual view idea is not just marketing. In day-to-day use, it's actually useful. But I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, because it's not the cheapest route, it's not the most discreet, and it's a bit more involved than a basic camera if you want it tuned properly. However, if you want full area awareness without blind spots, plus the ability to lock onto what matters and still keep the wide view running, that's exactly what this does well.